Welcome to Phase 1, your first week in school. I'm Kenneth Shuler, and I'm going to be your video host. Your teacher will actually be in the classroom and explaining a lot of what we're going to be doing. So your first haircut that you will have is going to be a beard trim. And the reason we're doing the beard trim is to remove the hair on the mannequin, on the beard, so it will not have an effect on what we're trying to accomplish when we start our hair cutting process. Because we're going to cut this head before anything else. You won't get on to the women's haircuts yet. You're going to learn to cut the short hair, and we've got to get this beard out of the way. The first thing you'd want to do is prepare your mannequin. As you see, we have used bobby pins in here just to plaster this hair down to get it out of the way, because we don't want to be fighting this long hair as we're trying to design a beard. Now, you're not going to find too many people coming in, guys coming in, that will have a beard like that. The other thing you won't find is that most guys that you will have underneath here, there'll be a lot of hair underneath the neck. So when you ever come across someone with a long beard, this long, more than likely the hair up underneath here will be long. On the mannequins, they do not put hair up on the hair. They only put it down around on the cheekbones and the lips and sideburns. And in this case, the sideburn hair and this hair are all the same length, and that's why we have gotten it out of the way, and you'll need to do the same thing whenever you get prepared to do the beard trim. Now, one of the first cuts we're going to do is getting the hair away from the mouth. We have to find the mouth here so we'll know what we're dealing with. So with that being said, what we're going to do is trim this hair right in here. As you can see right through here, we're going to be taking this hair out of here. So I'm using your all-purpose comb, and in this particular case, another thing you will not find too much of is hair that is straight. You got to understand, whenever they're making mannequins, they cannot find, nobody sells beard hair. I'll get that straight. Beard hair. So they have to put just regular straight hair. So we wouldn't be so lucky to get a beard that's got straight hair. It's always going to be curly to kinky, and any stage in between. It's going to be fine to coarse. It's going to be all colors in the rainbow, and the worst of all, I say the worst of all, the coarse hair in a lot of cases is jet black hair or red hair. And they are very hard as far as shaving and what have you. So you're going to find all textures of beards, the same as you'll find all textures of hair. So the first thing I want to do is establish here where the mouth is, and it's right under here somewhere. So you got to go in and find it, get this hair out of here, go to the corner of the mouth, and I'm not so sure you can get this shot here. You getting that shot in here, cameraman? We're just going to take this hair, and here again, you just take your shears and just cut it off. That is no good, it's trash hair. But always leave enough to be able to have a mustache on this beard. Just about every beard you ever cut will have to have, or does have, a mustache. Of course, anything goes, it depends on what the client wants. So here again, I'm just getting rid of this hair, pulling it straight out and leaving it about 1 inch long so that I have enough hair that I can work with in designing this. It's going to be very difficult to get something looking very good with this, because the beard just does not grow like this hair is. So right now I got it. I'm just going to trim a little bit of this out of the way. So now I've established, and you can't see it from there yet. So we need to get that on down some more. I'm just taking the shears and the comb, coming in here, placing the comb in here, turning the comb out. I want you to notice how I turn that comb out. Right like that. And the reason I do that and I cut that hair off is because I want that hair there shorter. So the hair at the very edge of the lip, right here, is going to be shorter. As I turn this out, then that will make the hair at the top a little longer. So the long hair would comb down over the short hair. And we do that all the way to the corner where we just turn that, cut that off, turning that comb out just like this. So I'm hoping you can see that angle there. As we move around and get all of that mustache, now we are actually cutting the mustache here. and we haven't touched the beard yet. Now I'm beginning to see the very corner of the mouth here and over here. And you can see on the camera now, you can begin to see a mouth coming into play. And this particular guy's got a small face, he's got small lips, the whole 9 yards. And you have to take all of this into consideration when you're cutting. I'm just going to define this a little bit better, just using the point of the shear and coming right across the mouth. And a lot of times when you have a customer like this, you'd be doing the same thing, of just trimming that hair right at the top of that lip. Always remember through your entire course here, you can always take the hair off. You cannot put it back on. So when you approach your hair cutting, approach it with caution, making sure you have enough hair left on your haircuts, your beard, whatever it is you're doing, to be able to finish your style in the desired effect that you're looking for. Here again, we have this long hair here, and I did wet this mannequin down. It started to dry out now a little bit, so I'm going to wet it down slightly. With the water bottle, all of you should have a water bottle in your kit. I have one that I'm going to be using. It may not be like yours, but it's a water bottle. And we spray it, and we spray when you're applying water. You don't want to give him a shower. He's not paying for a shower. He's paying for a hair service. So when you're using your spray bottle, don't just look. Did you get that, Mr. Cameraman? You see all that water dripping on him? Maybe you can see him over here. No, you can't see it. I am giving him a shower. He's not paying for a shower. You mash it. If you see the mist come out, you mash it hard like this and control it. Keep it under control. Now you see what just happened, and rub it. Don't be afraid to handle your client. This is one of the biggest problems we experience with students. They don't want to hurt him. Trust me, he's been slapped around a lot more than this. And a man kind of likes, don't want to be treated femininely like a lady would prefer. So don't worry about hurting. And as I said again, you may go through your entire career and never come across somebody with a beard this long. But with that being said, let's get creative. So he comes in, he's got this long beard, he says he's having a problem, and what would you think his problem would be? Personally, I think his problem would be eating. Because when he leaves the table, all of his food is now, this is what he calls his takeout, his doggy bag. So he needs to get this hair off of his mouth. So with that being said, this is our first style, so he can leave this. Now we can do anything we want from here on up, and we can give him, you want to leave all that long, I like my long beard, okay? Well, what if we did this? Or what if we did that? So here's what I'm going to suggest we do. I'm going to suggest that we just leave it as long as we can right now and say, okay, this guy is, let's say he's a real short person. Well, a short person, what you would not want to do if he was short, and what is short, I'd say anything 5'2" with a man and under. And if we cut it straight across, that would actually give him the appearance of being even shorter. So in that case, what we would do, what I would do, I would take the beard, pull it down this way, and I would give it a sharp angle like this. So as you look at him, almost what he's had there, when you would look at him, it would actually indicate that his face is a lot longer than it is, which now makes his whole body longer. And here again, you're determined the center, wherever would you be? Let's say right here. You can just whack some of that off right there. You don't have to be that careful right here because we got plenty of hair to work with. And what I would do here would be hold out here about something like this and just come down here maybe and cut it straight on down. I believe they used to call that many, many years ago a Van Dyke or something like that. I'm not sure. Nobody uses those terms anymore. Do the same thing over here. And here you just have to remember about what angle did you have that over there. And you bring this hair down and you cut as you go down, creating that point right here. And I can't even see this, but it should be giving that effect. Okay, so if you did this, and remember, this hair does not grow, so we need to get as many haircuts out of everything we do with the mannequin as we can, so we can get the practice before we get a real customer in our chair. So, you know, what I would do with him would explain to him, and you know, it's no strange thing for him to know that he's short. He knows he's short. So you don't have to say, sir, you know you're short, and what I'm going to do is we're going to design this beard like this so it'll make you look taller. The word here, the key word would be, by designing your beard this way, it's going to actually make you look taller. It's going to make you look more masculine and handsome. Those are the key words when you're dealing with a man. You want masculine, you want handsome. He wants to be bigger or taller or whatever. Psychologically, it works. And he just thinks you're the greatest because sometimes the terminology that you're using. So that would be one. Now he can eat. Now he can have less of a take-home box, carry out. So he's not collecting all that food in that beard. So we're going to go from here all the way down to nothing with him. So here he comes in as a brand new customer. Now this guy doesn't need to be tall, so he's an average size, 5'4", 5'6", or whatever. So we're not even going to get into the height or that part of it. And he's, in most cases, they get a haircut and a beard trim. And if they're getting a beard trim and the haircut, you got to decide or make a decision. If he is, he already has a beard and he's got long hair and he got a full beard. The worst thing in the world, you can have a full head of hair and a full beard that don't connect. And it should be connecting. If he's got a full beard, full head of hair, it should connect. So you don't go wax sideburns in here. It should all flow with the beard. So in this case, I'm going to get this down to, the next cut will be one that say it will be a full beard. I want to back up just slightly here for a minute because I mentioned earlier that underneath here, on the neck, we would have hair under here. So what we would do with that, and I'm just going to go through the motions just to show you what we would do. You take your clipper with the triple aught blade. You have one of those in there, and that's the blade that's going to cut the shortest. And you need to go to your tools to understand exactly which blade I'm using. I'm not getting into that now, but the tools section of the videos that you get will explain all this to you. But you go in here, you hold this hair up out of the way, and you cut this right up to here to the jawline. And I'm going to see if I can just take this and show you what I'm talking about here. You got that there, right in here. We just clean the neck up all on the hair, because that's going to be a lot of trash here. We want to get rid of all that hair underneath there. We can take the clippers and do that. And remember again, do not cut any hair that you possibly would want to use. So you're just removing the hair down on the neck. So you've gotten rid of all that hair now. So we're going to get back to shaping up the beard. And I prefer doing it, usually I can do it either way. You can either do it with the shears or you can do it with the clippers. Now, one thing that you need to remember, when you're using shears or you're using the clipper, both of these implements are cutting tools. They're just cutting tools. I could use a razor, it's a cutting tool. You just have to understand what cutting tool will work the best for this job. It may be your clippers over comb, and I will show you some of that because I'm going to go cut this with the, first of all, I'm going to cut it with the shears. Now, I've already trimmed up this mustache on that first beard trim. So now I'm going to come back in here and we're going to get rid of a lot of this long hair here. So instead of that style that we have there now, that I'm getting it a lot longer, and to give him the appearance of the face being longer or taller, I'm just going to remove all this excess hair now that he does not need. And I do that with the shears over the comb on this side. and that's probably what I would do if I were in the salon. He doesn't have lots of hair. If he had a lot of real thick hair, then maybe I would use the clipper. Now, going to use the clipper, we already cleaned up under the nut. I'm going to use the clipper now to do the same thing on this side to show you the comb is the guide. And I comb this up, and where I was using the scissors, I take the clipper and cut the hair off. The same thing, right there, and we remove the hair. So that's where the misconception sometimes is, well, do I use the clipper or use the comb? It doesn't matter. I will promise you one thing, if you get to be an expert with a pair of shears, you can use a pair of clippers. Well, let me explain that. A pair of shears we refer to as scissors. Sometimes they refer to clipper as shear, but the clipper, we refer to it here at Kenneth Shuler as the clipper. Those are shears or scissors. So make sure you understand the terminology for these two tools. But here we cut this, as I said, with the clipper and the comb being your guide. Now, one other way you can do this beard stuff with the clipper, and I'll cut a portion of this. We can turn the clipper over like this and come in here and just cut this hair down like so, and I'm going to cut half of this. And you do notice that I have dressed him up like for a haircut, and we're just taking this and turning it over just to remove that length. Here we come back and we would shape that up. You notice every time I go up into that hair, I will comb it back down, and that's why it's so critical that when you go back to the earlier tapes that you have seen, we show you how to hold that comb, and this is the proper way you hold the comb. Quarter turn, just flip it slightly, and your wrist action, you go down, you come back up, go down, up, down, up, down. You're doing the same thing with the shears as we do the other side now. Same thing here, I'm going in here, getting rid of this hair. Same difference. The only difference is the tool I'm using. I want you to notice something I just did there, and I don't know whether you saw it, you couldn't have seen that. But a lot of times when you're cutting hair, instead of just trying to do this, I always take both hands. I take one hand, and that will hold, I will place that hand on the body somewhere, place the the scissor here, and it steadies the scissor, so I make sure that I don't whack a hole in there. Okay. By now you should have at least 5 or 6 hours of practice already, just on the wall with your scissor and comb. The steel blade rests on the backbone or the ridge of the comb, and you learn to keep that steel blade still, and the thumb is moving the blade, so you cut the hair as you go into the comb. Okay, I'm going to take this off so you can get a better view of what we have here now. I'm just going to lay that down there because right now I'm more concerned about the shape of this. And as you can see here, you see we started with that long, still it'll sit right in here, but you had the long beard. And now as we're getting this shorter, this hair is put into this mannequin straight out. So it's going to be growing straight out, so he's going to look like a fuzzball here. If that was a regular beard, it would be lying closer to the skin right here. So this would actually be what we would consider today as a full beard. So this would be a full beard.